The obvious, there's a group of people who obviously want the stadium right here, right down the street from us right now, Soldier Field, to continue to be the home of the Bears, to keep it in Chicago. There are folks down in Northwest Indiana who say, hey, we're Chicagoland too. We should have a say in this. But before Northwest Indiana ever came into the picture, Arlington Heights was looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and bring in Heather Larson, the president and CEO of Meet Chicago Northwest, to talk a little bit more about where Arlington Heights is in all of this as of now. Thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be able to talk on this topic. And as the song says, they are the pride and joy of Illinois. So we endeavor to keep them in Illinois, and that's why we're here with you today.
And for those who don't know, Meet Chicago Northwest is a tourism bureau for 8 Chicago Northwest suburbs, including Arlington Heights. So tell me you all stake in this game.
Well, correct. We are the Tourism Bureau, regional tourism bureau, representing Arlington Heights and 7 surrounding communities. We work closely with the hoteliers, the restaurants, and the attractions in the area. And this area has long been a visitor economy. We have 60 plus hotels, over 9,000 sleeping rooms, and hundreds of restaurants, including a beautiful downtown Arlington Heights, which has a high concentration of independent restaurants, boutique retailers, Metropolis Performing Arts Center. So there's a lot going on in Arlington Heights, and then of course in Schaumburg and the surrounding communities. So we are ready to welcome the Bears and their customers, their visitors, to the area, and not just the Bears, all the other events that could potentially be in this new stadium.
Yeah, of course, once you have a dome stadium, it does, bring about a wealth of other opportunities, whether it's a Final Four or something of that sort, concerts and other things that you can have inside a Super Bowl that you can have once you have a dome. You can't have it there at Soldier Field right now.
That's exactly right. I mean, it's really just a warm weather venue, and they have had some fantastic record-breaking concerts of late. Taylor Swift, Beyonce brings in a ton of revenue for the hotels and for the attractions, folks coming into town. But having a roof on it definitely helps us with these Chicago winters like today, where, it's business as usual. So, we're an organization that brings visitors to our community and brings events to our community. So the size and scale of these events are something that we don't have the facility anywhere in Cook County or really in Illinois that can accommodate the Final Fours, the Super Bowl, Big Ten championships, and all the rest of it. So these are events that we cannot accommodate right now, and in business that we are already losing out to Indiana because they're going down to Indianapolis and Lucas Oil. And so we want to bring those kind of events and that revenue here.
Yeah, not all games are against the Rams where the weather actually works in our favor. Sometimes you need a dome. So, you have mentioned, and you've been really adamant about this, that the discussion has kind of gotten muddy especially since Northwest Indiana came into the picture. How so?
Well, I mean, we've been having these conversations since 2021. I mean, that was when the Bears first put forth their initial interest in the piece of land, the 326 acres that was the old Arlington International Racecourse, beloved, beautiful racecourse that we didn't really have time to mourn because we were so excited about the opportunity of bringing the Bears in. I did not think that in 2026 we'd still be talking about how do we get this done. Give me a shovel. I'd like to move forward, but we are concerned about this Indiana play. And we know that Governor Braun is aggressively pursuing the Bears. And that is a concern of ours. And we'll certainly maybe hear more about it this evening in his State of the State address. But we'd like to just bring the legislators together here in Illinois, in Springfield, and get this deal done, because the Chicago Bears should be in Illinois, and they will always be the Chicago Bears. There's lots of teams that play in the suburbs. The Dallas Cowboys play in Arlington, Texas, and Santa Clara has the San Francisco team. So let's keep them in Cook County, and let's keep that revenue in Cook County.
And speaking of the revenue, you've mentioned there's a lot of misinformation out there. Talk about the taxpayer aspect of this, because that really is the monumental piece in this that seems to be the crux of whether they're in Illinois or on the move to another state.
Well, this is going to be the largest development in Illinois history. I mean, this is going to be huge. It's going to be $5 billion easily. The Chicago Bears have committed to paying for the stadium, $2 billion. I believe the NFL is looking to make a contribution there. So the Chicago Bears have never asked the taxpayers of Cook County or Illinois to pay for their stadium. What they are asking for are two things, really. They're asking for property tax certainty. They're asking for what's called a mega project bill, or you could call it a pilot bill, which is this payment in lieu of taxes, where they're able to negotiate some property tax rates with the local municipalities. And this legislation is really enabling legislation. It doesn't actually cost the state of Illinois any money, but what it would do would lock in a base rate for property taxes, and then allow them to negotiate directly with the school districts, with the park districts, with the municipality in a graduated scale. Obviously, there's not going to be any children living on this piece of land for a number of years, and they're not going to be needing school or park district for that matter. So allowing them to have some tax certainty. And the other thing about this bill that's put forth by, there's two bills, one in the Senate by Senator Walker, and then also in the House, we've got Mary Beth Canty and Nicole Grassi with their bill. It is not specific to the Chicago Bears. It is for any large company that wants to come in and make over $500 million in investment in the state of Illinois. It gives them some of that tax certainty. So that's one part of the ask, and it's a big part. The other half of this is, they're going to need some sewers. They're going to need some roads. They're going to need some curbs, just like any development that would go into that site is going to need. And we're talking about a piece of land the size of Epcot. So it is a huge piece of land. So yes, it is going to be expensive to put in that kind of infrastructure. And so they're asking for some assistance with this. But to clarify, they have never asked for the stadium to be paid for by the taxpayers.
Let me ask you this, though. Obviously for a mega project bill, there is a big difference in how the country is looking at, say, a Governor Pritzker versus a Governor Braun. We have a governor who, yes, he is in the hunt for re-election, but he's also in the conversation as a possibility to run for president. Do you think that factors into him maybe not wanting to look like he's helping billionaires?
I understand that narrative. I certainly do. And I also understand that we really don't want to lose the historic Chicago Bears out of the state of Illinois. I mean, this bill, again, is good for the state, and it's a little out of my wheelhouse. I'm going to be real honest with you. I'm a sales and marketing gal and a hotelier by trade, really. But what I understand of this and how it works is good for a business attraction in a general kind of way. And that's why we're hoping we will get legislators to sign off on this that are outside of the immediate area of Arlington Heights. This is, this could be for any project in central Illinois, downstate and beyond, in the city of Chicago as well. And we know there's a lot of legislators in Chicago who do not want to be seen as having allowed the Chicago Bears to leave the city. We also feel in Arlington Heights that you can't accuse them of not having done their due diligence. I mean, it has been 4 years, I forget how many years it's been, where they did seriously look at multiple sites in the city of Chicago. And there's just not as good a piece of land as what we have out here in the suburbs.
Yeah, and when we are thinking about how long it's all taking, obviously we're seeing places like or teams like Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, they went through this, and then we see them on the other side of it, literally on the other side of the state that they initially started in.
Right.
Do you feel like we're headed in that direction?
I am concerned that we could potentially lose this stadium project outside of the state of Illinois. And that is why, we've been kind of keeping a low profile for a while now. And we created a business coalition, a regional business coalition. We're working closely with the Downtown Arlington Heights Business Association, as well as Touchdown Arlington Heights, which was a grassroots group of Arlington Heights businesses who got involved very early in welcoming the Bears to Arlington Heights, but also the Schaumburg Business Association and the Greater O'Hare Association. And really, from a business perspective, trying to tell the story of the economic impact that this project will bring, not just to the immediate area, but to the state of Illinois and, the 50,000 jobs, construction jobs, that will, good paying jobs that will come to the state to build the stadium, as well as the surrounding entertainment district, the 9,000 jobs that will be maintained from there with the different hospitality positions and what's needed at the site itself.
Yeah. I do see, I occasionally scroll through the comments. I don't like to get through the comments on every topic all the time because it is a rabbit hole. But, but you do see on this particular topic that people say, like, why don't they just pay for it all themselves? Like, why are we even having this discussion? Pay for it and move on.
It's not uncommon. Again, they are paying for the stadium. So they're not asking for assistance with the stadium. This is a gigantic piece of land. So the stadium itself is only going to take a small portion of the 326 acres. And then in addition to that, there will be an entertainment district, not unlike if you've been up to Titletown outside of Lambeau Field in Green Bay, where you'll have restaurants and maybe 2 hotels. I'd love to see a Hall of Fame where you have a year-round attraction. And just like you have in some of the surrounding communities, these entertainment districts, they're going to need roads, they're going to need curbs. And the municipalities often will help pay for that, as will, there's different grants that are available, again, a little bit outside of my wheelhouse. But that's where they're asking for assistance. And I know with the way that properties are assessed in Cook County on the triennial basis, it complicates any other kind of tax certainty that they might get. So this pilot legislation really helps them get some certainty and allow them to forecast what their expenses are going to be as new revenue is brought into the region.
Mm-hmm. What other misinformation do you think is out there that, when you're looking at it from your perspective and the research that you and your office are doing to try to keep the Bears at least in Illinois are finding?
Well, accessibility is key to us here. No, we're not Chicago, but we are Chicagoland, and we do have I've been told the highest concentration of season ticket holders are right here in the northwest suburbs. So we actually have quite a few members of the McCaskey family who live out in the northwest suburbs. So accessibility is going to be king. I mean, we're right near O'Hare Airport. You've got the intersection of 90 and 53. Maybe need to widen 53 a little bit, but we did just upgrade 90 a few years back. So you've got a lot of lanes that'll move people pretty quickly all the way up the corridor into Wisconsin, even Minneapolis, when we have those Vikings fans come down. And then there's the Metro. We've got the Harvard line, which will go all the way up and down Northwest Highway right to Ogilvie. So folks from the city will be able to get out to Arlington Park maybe easier than it is to get to Soldier Field, where you're kind of jimmied up against the lake there. Yeah, it's great visuals, and we'll still get that B-roll of the bean and Navy Pier and everything that makes Chicago so great, and all the things that we love about Chicago will still be shown during the games. But just enhancing the fan experience with the ease of access, I think really can't be underestimated how good that's going to be.
And the aspect of widening the highway would have to happen even if it were Indiana as well. I mean, again, going back to the comments that I've read, some people have been really worried about that aspect of things if we were to move down to Indiana.
Yeah, our greatest amenity really is O'Hare International Airport with some 2,500 flights in and out every single day. So, I mean, we're all spoiled out here. We never have a connector flight. We always have direct flights. So whether it's the teams coming in and the media coming in or the concert goers coming in, whether they're flying in, driving in, or taking the train in, it is going to be a good experience from start to finish with this beautiful stadium, but also just if you're walking a mile and a half to get to the train station outside of what is it on Roosevelt, it's tricky. So we think that this is going to have some nice tailgating spots, some fun vibe that'll be open all year long and be a destination in its own right.
Yeah, the metro would definitely be booming even more. You said that you had largely been quiet. Do you feel like, I mean, you're writing an op-ed now. Do you feel like that visit from the NFL commissioner and seeing the picture that's kind of gone viral now of them in Northwest Indiana calls you to say, hey, wait a minute, we need to speak up?
A little bit, yes. Again, we are a sales and marketing organization. We work for the hotels and restaurants in the communities. And we like to talk about the ecosystem. When we bring visitors in to enjoy our venues like Topgolf and the downtown Arlington Heights restaurants, they make these businesses more profitable and sustainable for the enjoyment of the residents as well. So there's kind of an ecosystem that exists. Now, bringing something like this in, which has the potential to bring just so many more visitors to our area and bring in so many new attractions and fun things to do that our residents will enjoy. We, as a board, and I'm speaking on behalf of our board of directors, which is a mix of municipal leaders as well as business owners and executives, as well as the support of the Greater O'Hare Association and the Schaumburg Business Association and those other entities that I mentioned, we did feel like, let's get this done, because that's a quote from Governor Braun. Let's get this done, and we think that threat is real, and we feel that this is the time as the legislators go down to Springfield. I know the senators are down there now, and the representatives go down next week. We want to get everyone at the table and to start talking in earnest, and anything that we can do to help assist that along and move that along, that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, it seemed like a comment from the governor yesterday was maybe the most positive I had heard in quite some time in terms of any type of way of keeping them here in Illinois, other than just saying, hey, we're not doing this. So maybe he's kind of feeling the pressure too, now that Indiana's involved.
I can't speak to that, but yeah, I mean, we really do not want to be losing this out of state. I mean, I mean, these are business people, right? And they're going to go where the dollars are, and that's unfortunate. But the McCaskey family has a long history in the northern suburbs, northwest suburbs, and we feel that they want to be here. Mm-hmm. They really want to be here. And this is a really fantastic piece of land that they already own. Mm-hmm. So we just really want to get the ball rolling. And I think maybe the governor is understanding that as well. But we need some of those city legislators to come along with us on this.
All right. We'll see what happens from here. But good to hear Meet Chicago Northwest speaking up on behalf of the plot of land that's, as you said, already been purchased in Arlington Heights. Thank you so much for your time, Heather.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Great chatting with you today.
Thanks for watching Fox 32 Chicago. Subscribe now for the stories that matter and never miss what's next.